President, I take the floor to exercise on the topic racial discrimination within the country is a call of alarm on a global level. Every word spoken from this podium of this April House Assembly is believed and carries the weight of history. Madam President, our delegation thanks to UNHRC for highlighting this issue before the Council.
Firmly and unequivocally rejecting all forms of racism and all acts of racially motivated and discrimination and violence. Madam President, India's commitment to combat racism and racial discrimination predates our emergence as independent state from highlighting the evil apartheid at the UN in 1946 to the establishment of African Fund. We have opposed the dehumanizing effects of imperialism, colonialism, and other racial discrimination.
We have joined other emerging nations in the struggle against the racism of the time. We are participating fully in the World Conference Against Racism. We have participated in the Durban, South Africa in 2001. Madam President, Mahatma Gandhi exhausted us to be the change we wish to see in the world. And so, our constitution was among the first constitution to stand against the racial discrimination. Our constitution has resolved to always stand with the cause of equity, justice, and non-racialism.
We are still not free from old habits of discrimination, prejudice, and hostility. People still labor under the weight of ingrained discrimination, which impose economic and social cost and treatment. Some of the humanity's less worthy races still find space for aberrant views in 21st century. It is matter of outrage that there is still resistance to such changes. Madam President, creating more fair, equitable, and gentler society of the future remains the lodestar of the future, of the social progress future. We stand with every right-thinking country in the world in acting locally, regionally, and globally to truly eliminate racial discrimination by anyone against anyone.
Effective implementation of the Durban Declaration and the Program of Action and Outcome document of the Durban Review Conference is an important step towards combating racism. In needed, its objective must be implemented in the law and justice. We must all take a comprehensive tips both as government and individual to raise awareness against the diversity and to zero tolerance of the racism. And we must not hesitate to take strict against those who motivate violence.
Our life begin to end the day we become silent on the things that matter. Namaskar to one and all present here. Today I am Lavina, standing in front of you to present my views on racial discrimination on the behalf of my country France and on the forum of United Nations Human Rights Council. Before we move forward to France, we have to discuss that what actually racial discrimination means. Racial discrimination actually means the discrimination of any human being on the basis of their external appearances or on the basis of their ethnic origin. Now, moving towards the conditions that are prevailing in France, France has always reported low number of cases of racial discrimination compared to other countries. But in 2019, according to our police data, France has reported more than 1,000 cases against Christians of racial discrimination, more than 600 cases against Jews of racial discrimination, more than 150 cases against Muslims of racial discrimination. However, more than 1,100 cases are also being reported which are considered as racist but do not have any religious connotation. And at the same time, the police also shows a bad attitude towards the victims of racial discrimination.
The discrimination is not the result of individual response. It is the entire system that has to be blamed. So good morning everyone, I'm Saloni, a representative of France. Here I'm going to suggest some reforms that should be taken by the French government in order to tackle the racial discrimination within the country. Here in France, we can see there is a real inequality between the blacks, whites and Arabs when it comes to jobs and salaries in any company. So in order to tackle this inequality, French government should publish an annual report on diversity that ensures how many minor people are being employed in these companies. Here in France, there is a abusive nature of police with minor peoples. So in order to reduce this abusive nature and especially show racial profiling, French government should establish a system that monitors how many stops made by the police and should amend the code of criminal procedure that prohibits discrimination in individual checks. And it should also start the training programs for the police that will only decline this abusive nature of the police. At the end, I only want to say that on the individual basis, each and every person have to celebrate the cultural diversity to reduce this racial discrimination. Thank you.
Hello, we are the representatives of Pakistan to speak on the agenda for today, that is, racial discrimination within the countries is a call of alarm on a global level. The citadels of racial discrimination are still alive in every nook and corner of the world, and Pakistan is not an exception to this.
In case of Pakistan, we can go back to the times when East Pakistanis were discriminated against by the West Pakistanis on the grounds of caste, color, language, religion, which eventually concluded into the War of 1971.
Despite being a signatory to the International Convention for Prevention of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, Pakistan has till today been able to make little progress towards this direction.
There's a deep-rooted hatred against the religious, linguistic and ethnic minorities in Pakistan.
The Pakistan Minority Commission, established in 2014, has also not been able to make sufficient progress in this regard because of its current structure and design, which has led to the omission of a number of religious minorities like Ahmadiyas.
Media houses were attacked after publishing news on religious minorities. Eyewitnesses on persecution are always on the run, whom the court fails to provide justice. Freedom of expression is reserved only for the majorities. We've also seen that many people at the political spectrum are very prejudiced and biased against the minorities, which leaves little hope for the changes at the grassroots level.
We may include the following points for dealing with the menace of systemic racial discrimination all over the world. First of all, we need to reform the institutions which are established for the preservation or protection of the minorities and make them accountable and more representatives by including population from all segments of the population.
Freedom of expression, though legally existing in many countries, including Pakistan, should be preserved in the action as well.
Mobilization, that is, mass mobilization, is also the need of the hour, which needs to be done through discussions and deliberations, and also including people at the grassroots level to become a part of the narrative.
The government should try to bring changes in the behavioral aspects of people. This can be done by compulsorily adding human rights education in the academic curriculum. This will make people more tolerant and make them more sensitive towards the issues facing the minorities.
We need to also expose people to other cultures as well, which can be done effectively by media, art and television. Also, we need to ban the people who spread hate speeches on the social media, and we need to punish them.
Representation of minorities in politics, police should be made compulsory, and it should take place.
Finally, we need to accept the fact that racism exists, and we need to introspect even on individual level and not deny racism.
We need to remember that there's only one race, and that is
The human race.
Thank you.
beauty of this world lies in the diversity of its people. Greetings to one and all present. The country allotted to us is Afghanistan. So, what is racial discrimination? Racial discrimination is discrimination of any kind based on skin color, racial, or ethnic origin. For instance, the Hazara community, which is the world's largest ethnic minority in Afghanistan.
Hazaras are considered as outsiders in their own country because they have been persecuted since late 1900s when Pashtun king Amir Abdul Rahman Khan ordered the killing of Shia Muslims in central Afghanistan, which is continued till today. For more than a century, they have been faced ethnic cleansing, slavery, land grabbing, unwarranted taxes, looting, and pillaging of homes which have been excluded them from the government.
Afghanistan acceded to the Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination on January 6, 1983, and submitted its first report on July 20, 1984, to the treaty body of the Convention. Accordingly, in 2004, Afghanistan's constitution granted Hazaras equal rights, and they were well represented in the administration. Yet, despite their growing political clout, they still continue to feel discrimination. Thus, in order to tackle the issue, United Nations Special Mission to Afghanistan was launched to promote respect for minimum humanitarian standards and to deter massive and systematic violation of human rights and humanitarian laws.
So, in the nutshell, the condition of Hazaras have been improved over the years, but some suggestions can stabilize them more in Afghanistan. That is, firstly, provide physical protection to minority members, in particular to Hazaras and Shia Muslims. Secondly, enact an anti-discrimination laws. As the main and basic objective of every government should be equality in rights and non-discrimination among their citizens. Hence, it shouldn't only be implemented but followed also. If you are neutral in the situation of injustice, then you have chosen the side of the oppressor. So let's unite to stop the discrimination against Hazaras. There should be peace among the whole country and discrimination against them should be stopped because our true nationality is mankind. So I want to end my words by quoting James Baldwin. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished delegates, it's an honor to join you all. Saudi Arabia is located at the heart of the world, and our hearts are always open for all the nationalities and all the religions. And for that, we have made policies meant to protect and develop every human being. To UNHRC, we are introducing report stressed on the basic precepts of Saudi Vision 2030. Saudi, a vibrant society, a flourishing economy and an ambitious nation. Under the framework, comprehensive reforms were being undertaken to protect human rights and to eradicate the deadly virus named the racial discrimination. Measures have been taken to protect Shia Muslim from any kind of discrimination. Measures have been taken to counter stereotypes linked with the lives of African descent, to improve the life of minority women, to improve the life of Indian and Filipino workers in our country, and to improve the life of Qatari citizen and Myanmar workers. Racial discrimination is a cultural complex phenomenon, and to eradicate it is a responsibility we all share. Thank you so much. Over to my counterpart Harshita Tolia.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Racism, xenophobia, and intolerance are some of the problems that are prevalent in all the societies, whether it is South Africa, Peru, Afghanistan, United States, or Canada. Racism includes hatred or discrimination towards someone just because of their race, color, or nationality. Unfortunately, Saudi Arabia has been ranked 6th and 8th in racial discrimination and religious discrimination indexes, respectively. But we are determined to ameliorate living standards. We acknowledge that it is paramount to protect everybody's right no matter who they are. We empathize with those who have faced it because it is very humiliating and sometimes affects the psychological health too. Some people tries to ignore it, but speaking up is better than being silent. We need to embed anti-racism into values, tradition, and action. We need to spread awareness because every day each one of us could stand up against this and stop the racial prejudice and intolerant attitudes. It is necessary to cultivate cultural diversity and tackle unconscious bias. We pledge to uphold the rights of everyone. We pledge to uplift the stories to those striving for human rights and dignities. By taking a collective step and moving forward, speaking up for the subject and no longer accepting injustice, then only can we eradicate racism. After all, we bleed the same color, so let's all stand up against racial discrimination. Thank you.
Good morning, one and all. Being a representative of Australia, it's my duty to address the issues of racism in Australia. In 2010, 15,000 cases were registered, from which 1,500 cases were suicide cases due to racism. The facts and figures hold a long story to tell. And the recent one is COVID-19, which generates a number of racially motivated attacks in both the physical as well as verbal form on Asian community which is living in Australia. More than 8 in 10 communities report discrimination. It's a great number, right? This continues with reports about attacks on Indians who are living in Australia was submitted to Indian Parliament in 2010. 152 attacks, which 23 had racial overtones, were accompanied by racial abuse. When ICC condemns incident of racism in India, Sydney test, which shows that sports isn't free from the stamp of racial discrimination.
As my fellow representatives have already mentioned, a lot of problems Australia has been facing due to racism. So here I would like to take this opportunity to suggest some of the solutions we have come up with. First of all, we as a co-committee should understand that before thinking about any solution, we should not consider everyone as racist, because that will normalize racism and create a mindset that everyone have this thought. So it is fine to be a racist and possibly analyze that what percent of population is actually practicing racism and affecting everyone adversely, so that people will understand that systematic racism exists in this country is beyond obvious and being a racist is not normal and is unacceptable. Some of the measures includes anti-racist education and policies. Anti-racist education policies seeks to actively oppose racism and promote tolerance and inclusion. Add more anti-racist policies and discussions to your classes, to your workplaces to help educate and make your environment more inclusive to minorities. As an example of an anti-racist policy would be promote or hire people of color as employees based more on their working experience rather than white people based on their education and personal connections. Potential solution includes policies that affirmatively promote use of companies owned by minorities, women, and other underrepresented groups and bystanders interventions. Changing how minority-owned business are viewed in construction industry is another solution. The final solution to racism is to establish social and cultural norms that identify and reject racism. With this, we want to sum up by saying that the solution may cost you a lot of things, but the rewards are unspeakable. Thank you.
A loving person lives in a loving world. A hostile person lives in a hostile world. Everyone you meet is your mirror. With the prior permission of the head chair and other delegates of the House, today we are gathered here to discuss the extremely important and relevant issue of racial discrimination within the countries. Surely it is a call of alarm because while we readily recognize and widely condemn our acts of racially motivated acts today, racism continue to permeate our society. It is not only seen through personally mediated acts but also embedded into our institutions, distinguished in our daily interactions, and etched into our subconscious. Chair, we simply neither deny the racism and nor afford to ignore it. But what we can do is to take adequate measures to eradicate this social evil. Today, we are glad to acknowledge that we are leading face of anti-racism movement in the whole continent. Some of the measures that I would like to mention here in United Kingdom, we had given equal rights to all the people despite of their race, religion or ethnicity. We have anti-racism institutions which ensures that there should be no discrimination among any kind of citizens, refugees or visitors. Some of them are Ahmed Iqbal Ullah Race Relations Resource Center, Anti-Nazi League, Anti-Racist Alliance, the Black Curriculum, City 6, the Diversity Group, Hope Not Hate, and many such institutions. In recent years, the world has been a substantial shift from globalization to nationalism. There has been a harsh increase in racially motivated events globally, alongside the rise of extremist political parties, groups, and movements. And the ongoing pandemic made the scenario worse. Now, I would like to hand on the podium to my counterpart delegate. Thank you.
Friends, racism is the logical belief that a particular race has distinctive cultural traits endowed due to the genetic factors that make individual races inherently superior to the others, and give them the right to exploit the inferior races. When we openly state the meaning of racism, we can see how inexplicable and unimaginable such a thought is. But racism is so deep-seated in our consciousness and subconsciousness that we have long bowed down to such infuriating ideals. There are no reasons or no excuses for racism. It's just wrong. Although we should always be hopeful, but the question arises that how do we counteract these adverse influences and positively influence outcomes? So, friends, we must work hard at the individual level to promote a growth mindset. This is not only true of racially diverse youth, but true of all youth with marginalized and intersecting social identities. United Kingdom is solely believed in equal rights and will continue to make efforts in regards to make our society free from racial as well as every kind of discrimination. We must unite our efforts, strengthen commitments and show the political will to combat and eradicate all manifestation of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance in all spheres of life and all parts of the world.
Good afternoon, everybody. The country me and my colleague going to present today is North Korea. Asians as in all has to face a lot of racism on a day-to-day basis, not just like a rarely occasion. On a day-to-day basis, the work environment they go on or even around classroom among kids, they are always teased upon for the culture they are born in, the color of their skin, the color of their hair, how their looks are. They just don't realize that it is natural. You are making fun of a person for just being born the way they are. If you can't accept a person for who they are, that just does not explain it, and that itself is what racism is. And if you ask me what we can do to avoid this, all I have to say is Stop trying to judge a person based on what their color skin is or what they believe in. Maybe you don't believe in what their culture believes in. That does not give you the right to suppress them. Start respecting it for once. Respect their boundaries, respect what they believe in, and just don't make fun of them that they believe in something that you don't, or the color of their skin is not the same to as yours. That itself makes the world such a better place. Because if you ask me, racism is within us. We are the ones who decide how to look on a person, if we should judge or not a person. If we decide that there shouldn't be a thing as such, that itself breaks the chain of racism. We are responsible for it, and if we stop, everything stops. Thank you.
Greetings everyone. I will just pick up where my colleague just left. As a representative of Korean, I would like to explain what led to racism and to conclude my topic. Racism in South Korea has been recognized by scholars and United Nations as a widespread social problem. It has also been reported that there is a discrimination in paying the wages and unsafe working conditions, denigrations, physical abuse, etc. The immigrants coming from the other countries like Asian and African has been shown a racist attitude and less towards the European and the white. Related discriminations is seen between the mixed children like Chinese Korean and North Korean immigrants. Scholars also believe that their national identity has been come from their ancestry, bloodliness, customs, common languages, traditions, history, and it was strengthened by the Japanese after the colonialism in the 20th century, and the Japanese attempt to make the East Korean languages has been there to maintain their sovereignty. During COVID-19 crisis, the foreigners living in the South Korea were excluded from the subsidy plan of the government, and the Korean well provided the financial plan of up to 1 million households. As all these informations from the back history are discussed of their race and color, and give them respect about their culture and everything, and start loving them. Thank you.
Greetings everyone. My name is Amisha Bansal and
warm wishes to everyone. I am Madhu Negi, here to serve as another representative of United States of America.
Since time immemorial, the United States of America has been under the world's radar for its supposed lack of interest in dealing with racial discrimination. The world has constantly failed to acknowledge the many times the United States of America has taken firm actions and set a precedent for the world to follow when it comes to racial discrimination and to deal with it. To begin with, I'd like to paraphrase what US representatives said in UN about accepting flaws. As representatives of the US, we acknowledge that we have failed in curbing racial discrimination, but that does not and should not mean that we shouldn't be appreciated for our efforts in increasing representation. As the recently sworn Vice President of the US said, and I quote, "I may be the first, but won't be the last."
Let's have a look all around the globe with respect to racial discrimination in the present scenario. Like in Burma, Rohingyas are subjected to oppression, abuse, and brutal killing, while in China, Uyghurs and other ethnic and religious minority groups are subjected to suffer and bear the pain of anti-human activities. We all are trying our best to rescue those people, to work in welfare of those people, and to supply as much resources as we can to those people. We all are working together. Let's take example of another country, that is India. A product called Fair and Lovely was recently renamed as Glow and Lovely because it promoted racial discrimination. After hurting the voice of people, the decision was made to rename it. Racial discrimination is not only an emerging issue just because of It is promoting discrimination on the basis of caste, color, etc. But it is also giving birth to overexploitation of natural resources. So first reform is the curriculum of students, school students especially, must be modified in a way that they treat everybody equally. Second reform is awareness camp. Time to time awareness camps, awareness rallies must be organized. Third reform is vocational trainings can be organized. Fourth reform, government could modify or could amend some rights and could provide more rights to these minority groups just to ensure their welfare.
Racism, one of the biggest problem for the world, and the violence happened in the western countries. The reason behind is racism. Mr. Mandela's famous quote about the anti-racism is, no one became the discrimination on the basis of their skin color, their religion and their background. Mr. President, European came in the South Africa and start the exploitation and discrimination on the basis of their skin color. And they are took off their voting freedom and living rights from the 3/4 of the population of South Africa. Mr. President, the discrimination limit was crossed when they hang out the board outside their house and said to the black people, if you enter this house, you will be shoot down by the guards. And the father of nation of India also faced the racism in the South Africa. They are thrown out from the train because he was a black man, and he was start the satyagraha first in the South Africa. Mr. Mandela was fought against the black and white discrimination, and he has a vision of a nation that give the equal rights to every citizen in the South Africa. Mr. President, we are the South African, and we have not any feeling to take a revenge from the black people, and we are accept all the peoples. So because world's called us the rainbow nation.
A great evolution has taken place in the constitution of South Africa in last few decades. Legal discrimination has ended up after Nelson Mandela is elected as president in 1994, but the effect of racism is still felt today, because such kind of cases are keeps happening in our country and we can't ignore it. Today, racial discrimination exists in all societies, and no country is free from racism, racial discrimination and xenophobia. Every country faces challenges to eliminate racial discrimination. Our country taking this matter very seriously, and South African government launched National Action Plan to raise awareness about racism and racial discrimination.
Mr. President, we are feel sorrow when a policeman killed a black man, George Floyd, in the USA, and many violence, death and protest happened in the USA as well as all around the world, and many hashtags and protests circulated in the world to support the George Floyd, like I can't breathe, Black Lives Matters. But the question is rises that this is the permanent solution for the racism. No, this is not a permanent solution.
Racism is just one mental state of people, and it can be stopped by social marketing against racism and speaking up against it. Start with the school and college to find out how we can expand opportunities for people. Finally, if we want peace, change the mindset of people to stop racism.
Start. I, Khel Shankar Vyas,
and I, Shivang Vyas,
are representing Brazil in the foregoing assembly, addressing the topic racial discrimination.
Racial discrimination is an extreme but sadly all the common example of the suffering by the black people in Brazil, and offers a stark illustration of persistent structural and discrimination and racism faced by citizens of African descent.
Black Brazilians endure structural and institutional racism, exclusion, marginalization, and violence. Within many cases, lethal consequences, Afro Brazilians are excluded and almost invisible from decision making structure and institutions.
Government officials in Brazil have a particular responsibility to acknowledge the persisting racism in the country, considering this the first essential step towards resolving the problems.
Officials have recommended urgent reforms of laws, institutions, and policies, including affirmative action, while deeply ingrained racial stereotypes, including among officials in the police and the judiciary, must be tackled. Brazil firmly stands against racism and is taking greater action to encourage respect for diversity and multiculturalism, which in turn will promote deeper knowledge of Afro Brazilian culture, history, and contribution to society.
Brazil is trying its own best to keep us the pace with the rest of the world.
We strongly appreciate efforts and measures by different countries. We admire European countries for devising responses at both national and European levels. The salient features of the Council of Europe and of Europe member states action over the past few years is the fact that they address the issues surrounding the fight against racism and racial discrimination from the perspective of protecting and promoting human rights.
We also appreciate Argentina, Colombia, Ireland, Mexico, South Africa, Spain, and Turkey for enacting laws prohibiting racial discrimination, and also some other countries from the adopting national action plans against discrimination and plans specifically aimed at the promotion of the right of the people of African descent.
Brazil, at the same time, condemned the lack of implementation of US policies against racism and shows its support in the Black Lives Matter movement.
They criticize the constant increasing of hate crimes in US and would like to work together to mark an end towards it.
Brazilian government would like to address an action plan by listing some measures which include launching a national visibility campaign to increase public awareness through the media, by declaring discrimination on the grounds of race punishable by law, and shifting from a specific ethnicity oriented policy to a problem oriented policy, promoting peaceful and inclusive society for sustainable development, providing access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Thank you.
Thank you
to one and all for